Hi all. So great week this week. We gave out some great awards, two Target awards, one to the lovely Paulette and also to Becky, who both achieved their targets this week, which is fantastic. So they're going to be starting a new journey to be slim for life now. So that's fantastic news, isn't it? And we also gave out a fabulous 7.5 stone award to the lovely Fiona. So well done to her too. So a few celebrations in group this week. Just to let you know that the 6 week countdown offer starts this week as well, and that's with the free Passion for Pasta and Noodles cookery book. So if you do want to take advantage of that, then do let me know. If you've already got a countdown running, then you can purchase a voucher from the online shop on the Slimming World website or on your app. Just go into the books and magazines section of the shop and scroll down and you'll find it somewhere towards the bottom. So yes, and they'll be sent a voucher and also the free recipe book in the post, which you'll be able to use once your current countdown runs out. So any problems, just let me know and I'll help you. And we welcomed a couple of new members as well to our group this week. So to the lovely Penny and also to Kathy. So a nice warm welcome to them as well. So they're going to start their journey with us. If you want to buy, if you normally buy your hi-fis online, then there is also another offer on. So if you buy 10 boxes, then you can get a free box of the new Cornflake Crunch hi-fis that are going to be out when we're back in group. So you can have a preview of them if you like, if you order 10 boxes from the online shop. So yeah, that's there for you. And also in Iceland this week, the new chicken tikka lunch bowl is out. I know that I think it was Angela tried it last week and she really enjoyed it. So they're great little lunch bowls that are great just to keep in the freezer. If you want something, you know, a bit short for time, then they're a great way of having that sort of lunch or snack. And I asked everybody if they downloaded the Slimming World magazine. A few of you have, but a few of you haven't. And what I would say to you is that if you read a book on a Kindle or a device, a tablet, or on your phone, then it's no different. So why not download the Slimming World magazine app, and then you can get your free copy of the magazine as well. If you don't know what the code is, then just drop me a text and I'll text it to you. Or if you head over to our private Facebook page, then I did post it on there. So just scroll down to find the post about the Slimming World magazine and you'll find the code in there. So we talked about trigger foods in group this week. So I did say to you, if you have a look at the article in the new Slimming World magazine, then it did talk about trigger foods, and I posted it on our Facebook page for you as well, for those of you that hadn't downloaded the magazine. And I'm going to share my screen with you now so that you can see it on here. So here we go. So there we go. Hopefully you can see that on your screen now. So trigger foods, what do we mean by trigger foods? We've mentioned trigger foods quite a lot, don't we? And what we mean is it's those foods that really, when you start to eat them, you just can't stop. You've just got to keep on eating them. And whether that be crisps, chocolates, cakes. Interestingly, 58% of Slimming World members say that it's chocolate that's their trigger food. So the thing that once they stop it, they really can't stop. Closely followed by cakes and biscuits and crisps. So you'll know what your trigger food is, or it may even be a trigger drink. So it may be something like wine that, you know, once you have one glass, that's it, it sets you off and you can't stop that. But this article was really interesting. It made me think about my trigger foods and how I manage them. And of course, as Slimming World members, the whole idea is that we're changing unhealthy habits into healthier habits. And that means that you don't have to give up any of these things. But what we want to do is get into a situation where we're controlling what we're eating instead of the food's controlling you. I know from my own personal experience that I always felt that food was really controlling me. You know, it's that thing when you go into the cupboard and perhaps there's a packet of biscuits there, there's a bar of chocolate or some other things, and it just keeps talking to you. It keeps sort of almost shouting to you. You can be anywhere in the house and it's there in the back of your mind all the time, isn't it? Saying, come and get me. You know you want me. You know, it's like a little imp on your shoulder, isn't it? Sort of shouting out to you. And you're not really satisfied when you're in that mood until you go and have it. And so what we want to do at Slimming World is to look at the reasons why that may happen. And most of the time it's linked with emotions, isn't it? So most of us will say that we comfort eat, and we eat when we're feeling down, when we're feeling sad, and when we're feeling happy. So it's linked to all sorts of emotions. And if you read through the magazine, it does talk about this in a lot more detail. So there's a little section about tuning into your mood, sorry, and that you know, it starts off with our emotions can play a big part in when and what we eat. And I thought this was interesting about the fact that we often associate these trigger foods with some sort of comfort. So it may be, as an example, when you were a child, if you fell and hurt yourself, or you had to go and perhaps have your jab at the you know, at the clinic, then afterwards you'd be given something, a nice sweet treat. So that might have been a lollipop or some chocolate or something else that was a nice sweet treat to say well done, or you know, that you got through that. And of course that stays with us, doesn't it? It's a sort of learned behavior, and it's sort of changing that really, and changing that sweet treat for another form of treat. So that could be it, or it could be that it's linked to things like, you know, when you used to go to grandma's, you always had a lovely cake, and so when you think of cake, it sort of triggers those memories for you. It could be just that, you know, cake is associated with celebration, so every time you celebrate, then you think, right, let's get the cakes out. It's just thinking about, you know, how is it, where are the links for you, and when you do feel that you want to have something, then how is it triggered, what emotions are playing out, how are you feeling at that time, and sort of trying to understand a little bit more what drives you to those types of foods. And it's usually foods that are high in fat and high in sugar that we turn to when we're feeling like that. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, you know, why am I feeling like this? How am I feeling at the moment? How do I feel when I eat that? How do I feel afterwards? And just try and understand your emotions a little bit more, and then we can start to work on that and look at ways in which we can deal with it differently. So as an example, if it's chocolate that you're craving at that time, then let's look for a lower sin option. So that could be that it's something like a chocolate mousse, a low sin chocolate mousse. You're still getting the sort of chocolatey fix, but of course you're choosing a healthier option and a lower sin option. It could be that you go for a drink like you know, an options drink, or a highlights drink. It could be another drink. Someone mentioned about having coffee with a skinny syrup in it, and said that that really, you know, sort of gave them the same sort of fix, if you like, that they got from a trigger food that they used to have before. So it's changing our behaviour so that we feel in control of it. Because we always say nothing's banned in Slimming World, and it isn't. You've got the sins there for you to be able to have those foods that you want, but it's looking at the proportion that you have compared to everything else, isn't it? The thing is with trigger foods is that they don't satisfy our hunger, so we don't feel full as we're eating them, and so there's no automatic turn off. If you think about it, you know, you could sit there and eat a huge bag of crisps and not really feel full. In fact, one member that's mentioned in the article used to buy, you know, the multi-bags of crisps with 12 packets of crisps in. And what she said was that when she was feeling in that mood, then very often she would eat all 12 bags of those crisps. So one of the ways in which she learned how to control that was by starting off by buying smaller multi-bags. So instead of buying 12, she bought 6. So therefore, if she did have one of those times, the maximum that she would eat is 6 bags. So that automatically reduced the number of sins. But then it helped her to look at other things. So, you know, things that weren't as many sins, and actually to reduce that and understand the reasons why she felt the way that she did, and then to put other things in place. So that's something else that you may want to think about as well. And the other thing is drink, of course, alcohol. And the danger with alcohol is that its effect on us is that it gives us a sort of devil may care attitude. It can make us feel far more relaxed and just think, oh, wow, what the heck, you know. And it also can give you an appetite. So it may be that, you know, when you have a glass of wine or a glass of beer, you also want a packet of crisps or a packet of nuts as well. And that obviously adds more sins to it as well. So still have the alcohol, of course, but look at some a lower sin options. So if you normally have a glass of wine, which would cost you about 10 or 11 sins, what you might want to do is swap that for a short. So if you were to have a vodka and Diet Coke, then we're looking at far less sins. So, you know, for your shot of vodka, you're looking at between 3.5 and 4 sins. So you can have a couple of those with, say, a Diet Coke or a Diet Lemonade for far less sins, but you're still having, you know, a drink if that's what you want to have. So what I asked everyone to do this week was to really have a think about their trigger foods. Have a read through the article because it does give you some ideas around what's going on psychologically and in our minds. And we all know that we've got to get it right in our heads, haven't we, to be able to, you know, do the plan successfully and to learn and new habits that are going to be able to stick with us for life, because when we've lost that weight we want to keep it off for life. So do have a read of the article. As I say, it's on our Facebook page, or you can read it directly in the Slimming World magazine if you download it digitally. And have a think about it from your point of view, and maybe just try and think of trying to, you know, see what works for you this week. It may just be one thing, swapping one thing, but try that this week and see what works for you. And then we can have a chat about it this next week and see how you got on with it. So have a great week, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now. Bye.